So for our largest cities who are complaining the loudest, it is the equivalent of a rounding error in their budgets.
That was Arizona Board of Regents President Eileen Klein on last weekend's square-off, dismissing cities' complaints that the governor wants to raid their budgets to give the state universities more money. The governor wants to let the state's 3 public universities keep the state sales taxes they pay cities over 30 years. That money could be leveraged into $1 billion for new buildings and repairs to existing ones. Mesa Mayor John Giles is one of the mayors opposing the governor's plan and probably not too thrilled by Eileen Klein's comments. Welcome to Square Off, sir.
Thank you.
She says it's okay to take your sales tax dollars because you're just going to grow government, and she can do more with the money than you can. What's your response?
Well, it's a little confusing. I don't think $6 million a year and $150 million over the course of this proposal is a rounding error. That's a lot of police officers. That's a lot of potholes. Cities and towns need that money to provide the essential services that people expect from government. So we don't. This is a great number one. Let me say we are 100% in favor of additional funding for universities. Cities are the best partners that universities have in the state of Arizona. It's the how here. It's not the what that we're objecting to.
The how. So how much money would Mesa lose under this plan?
Well, in the first year, it would be a few $100,000. But again, that's not a rounding error. That's actual police officers. That's potholes that don't get filled. Cities are under a tremendous amount of financial stress right now, and so any money is, if somebody steals your lunch money, you don't say, well, I guess it's not that much, so I'm not going to object to it. But this is money that is put to good purposes by the city of Mesa and by the other cities in the state.
How surprised are you that the universities are taking this approach? I have to admit, I was rather surprised by Eileen Klein's kind of saying, hey, we can do better with that money.
Well, in this day and age, you have to be very innovative, and so frankly, I applaud the governor's efforts. I applaud the Board of Regents for being innovative and looking for ways to find ways to provide the necessary additional funding for universities. We support that, and cities and towns would love to be a part of helping that happen. But this is a sketchy accounting process where you're skimming money off the top. That the state collects sales tax for cities, and what the proposal is they skim money off the top before they forward it on to the cities. That's a dangerous precedent that we just can't agree with.
And your voters have spoken on this to some extent. Last November, they rejected increasing the city sales tax for a downtown campus. How much does that weigh into your thinking here?
Well, I think what that shows is that the voters are very sensitive, but they don't want to increase taxes. They want they want government to live within its means. And this proposal is taking away the very necessary money that we need to provide those essential services. So I think it's contrary to what, speaking of the voters, back in the 1940s, the voters approved the shared revenue proposal or allocations that this would violate. This is saying we're going to take money away from the cities this is money we collect for the cities. We're going to take it away before it goes through the legislative process and gets allocated.
Can't let you go without asking a tax question, but it also involves the Arizona Coyotes, who've been rumored to be looking at the Sloan Park area, Riverview, as a potential arena site. Do you see any way that the city of Mesa could help them out financially, which is what they want from any place they locate?
Well, I think that the first hurdle they have to get over is coming out of the legislature with some sort of mechanism for any city to address that, and I'm not sure what the odds of that happening are. Mesa is a great location. I mean, my job is to sell the city of Mesa, so the location that the Coyotes are looking at, right at the intersection of the 101 and the 202, is the most prime piece of real estate, I think, in the valley. So it's no surprise that the Coyotes are interested in it.
But could you see Mesa helping out in any way to build that arena?
Well, it depends on what the rules are, and then that's what comes out of the legislature. So we're not courting the Coyotes, but if there's a mechanism that comes out of the legislature, we're certainly happy to look at it.
All right, Mayor John Giles, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Brown.
When we come back, why Arizona prosecutors are trying to block a weasel reporter from checking on what they're up to. Stay with us.